Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video isn't going to be a makeup tutorial. It's gonna be a really personal story of mine. I am not doing this video to get sympathy for anyone or trying to get attention. I am trying to let the world know about this illness that is so underrated and that really affects your everyday life. And I'm sorry that I look really bad. You guys will know why I'm looking like this in a little bit. I just think the world really needs to know what I'm going through and what so many other people are going through. This whole story starts off when I was 12. I was eating dinner with my family and out of nowhere I got a seizure. I don't remember any of it, but my family did think that I was choking. So my stepdad actually tried to, they were squeezing my stomach, they couldn't get the food out. So my stepdad put his finger into my throat to try to take out whatever I had stuck in here. And since I didn't have anything, I just ended up biting him really hard that I actually cut through his skin. And, they rushed me to the hospital. They said that they thought it was just a one-time seizure, that I should be cleared. That sometimes, if you're really stressed out, then you can actually get a seizure. So I went home. A week later, I actually had another seizure in my bathroom. So my mom rushed me to the hospital again, and that is when I was fully diagnosed with epilepsy. Epilepsy is when a person has more than one seizure frequently, and I was diagnosed with that, so I would be living with seizures for the rest of my life, or that is what I thought. They put me on medication. I was drinking medication for years. I was good for another 2 years. So since I was seizure-free, my neurologist thought that there was a really high possibility that the medication had cured whatever was going on in my brain. And keep in mind, epilepsy is basically when there's a lot of electricity in your brain and it just causes kind of spasms. So they thought that I was cleared since I hadn't had a seizure in 2 years, and they just did some EEGs and some scans, and everything in my brain looked normal. So she decided to start taking me off my medication. Every week I would go a lower dose until I was no longer on any medication. So I reached the point where I was medication free. This was my senior year of high school, or it was the beginning of my senior year in high school. And I actually had just taken my senior portrait picture. So at this moment I wasn't on any medication. I didn't have any medication in my system. So after we took my senior portraits, my family and I decided to go bowling. A couple hours later, I blacked out and I had a relapse. So I ended up having another seizure at the bowling alley. So they rushed me to the hospital again, and that's when they let me know that I would actually be needing the medication for the rest of my life, that there was no possibility of me going off it simply because of this test, because of this little section where I hadn't had any medication in my body, and I still ended up getting a seizure. So once again I had to go back onto my medication. This time period was really one of the times where I felt the lowest. I thought I was fully cured. I thought it was finally going to be normal. But that was not the case. So I had to suck it up, go back onto my medication, and just continue living my life, or what I could live my life with this medication. I drank medication called lamotrigine or Lamictal. So right now I am taking 250 milligrams in the morning and 250 milligrams at night. So that is 500 milligrams a day. So that was my senior year. I was 17. And for the rest of high school, I was good. My medication was working. The mid of 2016 and the beginning of 2016, has been the toughest year in my life. I was leaving my boyfriend's house probably like around 9 o'clock, and I was heading to my house, and my boyfriend lives in San Rafael, California, and I live in Richmond, California, so I do have to cross the bridge to get to my house. And while I was driving, I got a really, really bad migraine, and next thing you know, I black out. I was having a seizure while I was driving. I was really, really lucky that the bridge was pretty empty at that moment. I didn't hit any cars, which I am so grateful. My car, it ended up, so they were doing some work on the bridge, so basically there was like a little rail, and my car ended up, let's see, like this, my car ended up getting halfway on the rail, so my car was basically balancing on 2 wheels. And my boyfriend, I guess, usually I would text him when I was home, but I hadn't texted him and he felt like something was wrong. So he said he was going to drive by my house to see if I had actually made it, and maybe I had just passed out or something. And then that is when he found me on the bridge talking to the cops. The police did let me go. I just drove home with my boyfriend behind me. I don't know how I managed to do that. Every time I get a seizure, I get really, really sleepy. I get really nauseous simply because of all the energy that goes into having a seizure. I just kept taking my medication and I was good for a couple months. And then I had another seizure here at my boyfriend's house in front of his family, which I know was really hard for them to see. After that one, I kept taking my medication, and I started working at a BMW here next to where I live. It was Saturday, October 2016. I was in the bathroom, and they found me passed out in the bathroom. I had just had a seizure. They called 911, they came to get me, they took me to the hospital again. They said that the medication dose in my body was really low, so they were going to increase my dose again. They also suspended my license. So, they suspended it. I was like, you know what, I can't do anything about it. So I just dealt with it. And I kept drinking, the new dose they gave me. The dose that they gave me at that point was 200 milligrams in the morning and 200 milligrams at night. So I just kept taking that. I thought I was good because I had more medication in my system, and that ended up not being true. Wednesday, I had just started work. I started work at 2. Around 2:30, I blacked out and I had another seizure. I don't remember anything. Usually after I have a seizure, once it's over, I start to wake up and I can kind of start remembering stuff. I can answer questions. I'm just a little bit more conscious, but apparently this time when I had my seizure, I was at my desk, and I'm assuming, I don't really know what happened yet. I haven't talked to anybody at work simply because I didn't go in yesterday and today is my day off. So tomorrow I will actually be in and I will be able to ask a couple more questions about what really happened. I'm assuming I fell over and hit myself on the desk, and that also caused me to knock out on top of the knockout that I was having because of the seizure. And I don't remember anything until I was in the ambulance. They somehow had my phone and they were calling my mom. I don't know if I gave them my password. I don't fully know. I don't remember anything. Just, it was a really hard hit that I got. Was in the hospital for almost 4 to 6 hours or something like that. I was really, really sore and in a lot of pain. Usually when I get a seizure, I am sore simply because your muscles are contracting and you're getting really stiff, and the seizure just has a lot of effect on your body. But when I kind of started to wake up more, I was realizing that my head was really hurting. And my boyfriend told me, you know, you hit your head pretty hard. And then I touched my forehead and I could feel a huge bump on my head. So then I asked him to take a picture and I fully saw what had happened. So right now, my eye is swollen and it is black, or it is purple. It kind of looks like I got punched in the eye. And then on my forehead I have scratches all over, and these scratches actually go up into my scalp. You can kind of still see the bump I have on my forehead, but it has gone down tremendously. Right now, what's really bugging me is my eye. It wasn't this swollen yesterday. It was kind of just, it was purple, but it was just the outer corner. And then today when I woke up, it was my whole entire eyelid. So if I close my eye, you guys can fully see how purple that is. Yeah, you see this is my regular eye, and then you can see how low this one is and how swollen it is. So yeah, this has probably been my worst seizure that I've ever had. I've never hit myself like this. I've never fully blacked out as long as I did. I felt really bad that everybody at work had to see me like that. When I first had one at work, I had it in the bathroom so nobody saw me. They found me when it was over, so I was just laying on the floor. But this one, my coworker texted me and she told me that some of the service advisors of where I work found me, and you know, apparently there was a huge crowd outside the office. They weren't letting anybody in. I don't like it when people see me like that, simply because it can be really traumatic for a person to watch. A lot of times people feel really helpless. They don't really know what to do when they see somebody having a seizure. But that is another thing that I do want to inform you guys about. If you ever see somebody having a seizure, try to catch them before they fall. Lay them on their side, simply because you don't know if any fluid is gonna come out of their mouth, and if they're laying face up, then they can, you know, choke on it and die. Loosen up any ties or anything tight they have around their neck. And you just have to wait for it to pass. It's always good to call 911. When a seizure lasts over 2 minutes, it is, you know, you need to make sure that you really do call 911. I personally think you should call 911 no matter what, no matter how long it lasts. And once the person starts to kind of wake up, just ask them some questions. Ask them what their name is, how old they are, when their birthday is, where they, you can ask them where they live, just to make sure they're fully, you know, they're starting to, their conscience, I guess you could say. Help them get up slowly. They are most likely in a lot of pain. So just, you know, make sure they're somewhere safe, secure, and call any family members of them or loved ones just to make sure they can come get them. Do not leave them alone simply because you do not know if they can have another episode. I'm sorry, this is just really hard to talk about. Like I said in the beginning, I was not trying to make this video for sympathy. I just do want the world to be informed of this illness that affects so many of us, and that I feel is somewhat underrated. So please inform yourselves, and if you ever see somebody having a seizure, don't be a bystander. Help them. They will highly appreciate it. It's really scary to have a seizure and wake up completely alone. in most cases, or at least in my case, I don't really know where I'm at. I can answer questions, I can answer my name, I know my name, my birthday, where I live, all that stuff. But it is still really scary when you wake up alone and your head is pounding, your body just doesn't feel normal, you feel nauseous. Just please don't be a bystander. Help them out. I know it is something scary to see and something scary to witness, but help them. You know, just put yourself in their shoes. If something like that ever happened to you, you would want somebody to be there for you and help you even if they didn't know you. So that is the end of this video. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments section and I will go ahead and answer them to my best capacity that I can. You know, just please inform yourselves. Please be on the lookout. If you ever see somebody having a seizure, help us out. You know, that's all I can really say. Just help us out. We'll be more than grateful to you and, you know, to anybody who is there for us. And I'm sorry that I'm you know, teary-eyed and everything. It's just something really hard for me to talk about, especially sharing my story. I hope that, you know, this video informed you guys a little bit more. You guys know a little bit more about myself and basically what I'm living through. And maybe a little later on I will go ahead and film an update of how I'm doing, you know, if anything has changed, any of that stuff. But I do hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Not really enjoyed it because I know it is something kind of sad and depressing, but I hope that, you know, it wasn't super boring to watch. And I will see you guys in my next video, which will most likely be a tutorial. So take care, be safe, and enjoy your life.